quorum and we can start.
Yes.
So welcome everyone at 5:30. So meeting is called to order. Public appearances or non-agenda items. Wendy.
There is nobody here and I got no emails.
Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes. I would need a motion to please approve the April 2023 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, John. We do not need a second for those of you who are new because we are a board of under 12 people. So that's why you'll just hear one motion and no second, just to keep you informed. Any corrections, comments, anything we can clarify on the minutes? If not, I will call the question. All in favor of approving the April draft minutes, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Is that only two of us?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Yeah, Adrian, you can't because you weren't there, so thank you though. All right, so motion passes. Number 4, financial report. Wendy, do you want a motion to approve first?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve both the financial register from February and the financial overview?
So move.
Thank you. Wendy, it's yours.
All right. Not a lot of exciting things to talk about from February. I did want to point out in account 340, there are a number of charges there that say teen room update, friends end of year giving. So that is something that we had discussed with them before they sent out their end of year giving letter in, I want to say November last year. So we updated the gaming systems and the TV that they play them on, did some games for that. So that is all sort of above and beyond the budgeted amount because because the donation came in this year. So that's great and being used downstairs. We got that all. Tim, that was one of Tim's last youth services projects, so that's good. Nothing else in expenditures. There is one thing I want to talk about in revenue, and that is interest income. You'll see we budgeted $2,000, and we are currently at $28,881. I thought that was a mistake, so I pointed it out to finance that couldn't possibly be true, and they said, no, that is true. The interest rates are just really good right now, so we're making a lot of money. And then I said, oh, good, how can I spend it? And they said, no, you can't spend it. I was like, well, no, but I want to spend it. So what I think we're going to do is put together a CIP, ongoing CIP. So we have a building improvement and replacement CIP that we do through Public Works that we put money into every year, and it kind of rolls over. And we use it when we need to, but it just accumulates when we don't need it. I think we're going to try to start one with this money going into next year to use for furniture replacements. So we're 12 years old, we're starting to need to replace task chairs and book carts and that kind of thing. And I think that would be the perfect place to put this. So it just means we can't spend it this year. We have to start spending it next year. But great news. And I don't expect it to last, but we will take it as long as we can get it. And that's
Any
all.
questions for Wendy? Okay. Wendy, were you finished? I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Then we have a motion to approve. All in favor of approving the financial register and the financial overview, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, unfinished business.
None.
None. New business. Number 6, election of new officers. Wendy, do you want a motion to approve or you want to discuss who's running for what?
Let's just talk about the slate, and then we'll have a motion to approve. So as I understand it, the slate is going to be Toby as president, John as vice president, and Ann as treasurer. Is that correct?
That is my recollection as well.
Okay. So we'll need a motion to approve.
I will motion to approve. And any questions, comments, clarifications?
No.
Then all in favor of the new slate of officers, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Please look at your SCLS Technology Services Agreement. Wendy.
So this is an agreement that we sign every couple of years, and it just kind of details what services we are getting from South Central. They only ask us to sign it when they make some changes. So I have looked at this document. I also have a copy of it that has been redlined from last time. And there are really two changes that aren't super substantive for us. One of them is in point 5, and it just allows for libraries to vote by phone or by Zoom. So kind of like everybody else in the world has done, they've just kind of made it easier for people to do this. In the past, before COVID, you had to have a proxy member, and now they're saying that you can do it over Zoom or phone. So that all makes sense to me. Then in point 8, they have added that last sentence about industry standard security practices. So I think this is something that came up with their insurance company having concerns about just cybersecurity, so ransomware, that kind of thing, hacking, that kind of thing. They did reach out to all of the libraries in the system and asked us to check with our insurance providers to see if we had cybersecurity insurance. We do through the city's insurance, and I think almost all the libraries did. A few didn't, so I think they're going to have to look into getting it. They looked into if we could get coverage for the system as a whole with all the libraries, and that's not possible because, I mean, there's just too many. Every municipality is different. But that's why they added this in here. So I think that's just sort of the way the industry is going, and I'm kind of not surprised to see it. Everything else in here was basically just clarifications, grammar things. Those were the only two things that really, I think, needed to be discussed. So I am comfortable signing it. We get a lot of services from them, so we need to, I guess, let them update their documents. Does anybody have
Wendy,
questions?
do you need me to stop by and sign that as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. And do you need us to approve of this, or are you just
Yes.
showing this to us so we're aware?
Nope, we need to vote on this.
Okay. Then, did we do a motion? I'm sorry.
No, not yet.
I have a
Okay, then
question.
I will motion to approve the technology services agreement. Any further discussion, questions, anything Wendy can clarify?
Yes. All right. So talking about the security network recommendations.
Yeah.
Does any of that have to do with like filtering content, limiting
No.
access,
No.
anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I would not be recommending signing it if that was the case. They offer filtering if we would choose to adopt the software. The software is terrible. And then you can get E-rate rebates, so there are a lot of libraries that do it because they get money back for it. It's a road I've not been willing to go down. The software has not been good. They've had to change software already once. It's not great.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor of approving the SCLS Technology Services Agreement, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, President's Report. We're going through these fast. I have nothing, just to welcome our new members and thank everybody for participating. So, welcome. Number 8, Library Director Report.
Okay, a couple of things. We did have our staff in service on May the 3rd. We spent the morning, we split into 2 groups, and half of the group went outside and did some work with the beds. We've got a lot of planters around the library that have not been maintained very well. And we have a master gardener group that is interested in helping us maintain them. So we came in, Public Works brought up a giant front end loader and like drove up on the sidewalk and dumped a bunch of dirt in there. And the staff spread that out, and then they dumped compost on top of that, and they dumped mulch on it. So got the beds ready on that day, and then the master gardeners came in Saturday with Minda and planted. So 2 pollinator beds, one's outside the storytime room, one's out front. We also had enough dirt and material left over to do 1 more bed, so that is half right now plants that had come out that they wanted to save from the original beds, and then half of it that I think we're going to use for programming for planting. I think preschoolers are going to be planting some sunflowers out front. So happy to get that done. We did have a medical emergency with a staff member in the middle of the staff in service. and it went off very smoothly. You'd like to never have that happen, but the staff did a great job, and EMS, fire, and police all showed up and were all very helpful, and it ended fine. So that was good. Yeah, you never know how we train for that kind of stuff, and you never really know how it's going to go when it goes down. So everybody did a good job. Happy about that, and everybody's fine. The closure that we've been talking about for Memorial Day, so this was the South Central server move that I believe I predicted would get delayed. And then it did, and we had already made a whole lot of plans for it. So everybody in the system's real unhappy about this. We have an all-directors meeting tomorrow that I think should be quite interesting. What we ended up doing, so we were supposed to be closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We tried to go back to just being closed Sunday and Monday. We had enough staff members that had made other plans that could not work, that we could not staff the building. So we will be closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but open on Tuesday. Sort of the best we could do. They are talking about the new closure being late in June. Not happy about that either. Summer reading is our busiest time, so to have to close down then, but I think they have to be out of their building. So I will know more after tomorrow, and we will make plans accordingly. Yeah, it's not great. There is a possibility that we could try to function without closing, but we would not have internet, so I don't know. There would be no computers, there would be no Wi-Fi, which I think people will be very angry about. We could check out on offline circulation, which is also not great. You can't do receipts, there's a lot of things you can't do. So we are having a lot of conversations in-house about what is the best thing to do. I will keep you updated as we make decisions. It's also real hard to want to make a decision when I'm not convinced it's going to happen this time either. They didn't have permits, so they couldn't do the construction they needed to do. So I guess my question tomorrow will be but how do you know it's going to be done? I don't want to plan this all again and cancel it again. So I will keep you posted. The last thing is the Cottage Grove is trying to build a library, much like Fitchburg tried to build a library 12 years ago. They do have a library board now, and they have asked me to come to their meeting tomorrow night to kind of talk about what it was like to open Fitchburg. So that should be interesting to see what their plans are. I don't know. So that's all for the director report.
Wendy, how does the new library in Oregon, that huge library, affect us, if at all?
It may change circulation numbers. We'll have to wait and see. I know that when we opened, we took a lot of circulation away from them, so things may shift back. Typically, you see a shift right when a building is brand new, and then it kind of recovers. I think there is plenty of room for both of us. We currently have people that use both libraries pretty heavily, so not too worried about it.
Thank you.
But we'll see. Yeah.
Any questions for Wendy on the library director report?
Certainly want to empathize, I guess, with the people that had plans for Memorial Day, but also wondering how we make the decision about how many people are needed to staff the building. And
So we have schedules all planned out. So how many people we need in each department. So we run on a 1/3 staff on a weekend because we have a 3-week rotation. So if we had more notice, maybe we would have been stricter about that, but I didn't feel like at 2 weeks we could say, sorry, you made plans to go out of town, and now you can't. I don't think that does anything good for morale.
definitely not. Could we have done something like the drive-up services or like any other more limited services?
Curbside is great, but it takes a lot of planning to get it set up. So it's not something we do a couple of orders a day, but to get people switched back over to it for a weekend doesn't make sense.
Okay. I saw the postings on the doors. Are there other ways that you can notify people that regularly?
We'll put it on social media and on the website also, and probably in the email blasts. So we'll put it everywhere that we usually put our information.
Okay, so you will, but you haven't yet.
I think some of it's already out there. I'll double check.
Okay. Just to make sure that
It's
people don't.
a holiday weekend is not a super busy weekend for us, so at least there's that, I guess. A lot of people have other plans. So.
Anything else? Then we will move to item number 9 on the agenda, committee reports, strategic planning.
All right, so just wanted to let you know, so the strategic planning, this is the last year, so we're kind of wrapping up some projects. One of them that I would like to address if we can is the sorter room. So we're replacing the sorter in the fall. The sorter room right now has a bare concrete floor, and it feels very, I guess I would say, factory-like working in there. I think the original design of the building assumed that people wouldn't be working back there, which doesn't make any sense because the sorter fills up and the sorter has to be emptied. So there are people that spend 2 hours of their shift, of a 4-hour shift, standing in that room emptying the sorter, and I think it's hard on your legs and your back, but it also just kind of feels yucky. It gets real dirty because of what comes in the sorter. I think we're not great at cleaning it because it feels like kind of a factory floor. So I think we're looking into putting a floor in that room, maybe repainting. It gets banged around. Delivery comes in that area as well, so it gets banged around quite a bit. And then we have tinted the there's a wall of 6 windows that face east, and it gets super hot in there and very bright. So we have tinted in the past the bottom 3 windows. I think they need to be redone. And then I walked in the other day, and while the ceiling is dropped so you can't see the top 3, when you're standing there, it comes in and reflects off of the floor. And it's just blinding. And I really had no idea because you have to be there right at the perfect day, when it's sunny out. So we're going to look at retinting that whole wall of windows just to kind of make it a better workplace environment. So looking into pricing for that. And we have budgeted money for strategic planning projects, so that should fit into the budget we've already got. That is all for strategic planning.
Thank you. Questions? Something she can clarify?
Are the people like standing in one spot emptying the sorter that you could do some sort of mat?
So we have, what are they called, sky mats, so anti-fatigue mats that they can move around with them. So they'll stand at one cart for a while and then move to another one because they're making carts out of all of them. So we do have mats that they can carry around with them. And we'll continue to do that because I don't think there's really a floor that can take all the pressure off, right, from standing that much. Like, it is a concrete floor under there, so, yeah. So we'll continue to have those available. But I think it'll just give we visited a library in Chicago when we were looking at the sorters themselves, and it had flooring, and it just felt so much nicer. Like, it was just a nicer place to be working. So, yeah, I think it'll be worth the upgrade.
Would still love to see it sometime.
Yeah, we'll do a tour. I think the Access Services tour is in the fall, maybe. Maybe the new one will be here by then.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to facilities then.
So Toby and I were talking about this a little bit before the meeting started. We have solar panels on the roof. We have 302 panels. They are not functioning. The inverters, 1 or 2 inverters seem to be down out of 3. We actually had to pay $1,000 just to be told that the inverter was not working. So the inverter is under warranty and should come for free, but the installation runs around $4,000 or $5,000. The complicating factor is that the company is called Huawei. I don't know if I pronounce it right, and they are going out of business in the U.S. So they manufactured all of the panels that we have and all the equipment that goes with it. I don't know if somebody else will step up and say, here's an inverter that works with their things. I would like to get 2 inverters now under warranty for free that we can have hooked up maybe this year if we have money left over, maybe next year, but I don't know what's going to happen going forward. So the city has solar panels on all their buildings as well, so that we are not alone in this. Kevin, I think, talked to Buildings and Grounds. He has a meeting once a month to talk about Buildings and Grounds, and they discussed it. Nobody has a really good plan, but we are talking it over. So just wanted to keep you up to date on that.
Do these solar panels affect our operations in any way?
So when we turned them on in 2018, we saw I would say, slight decrease in our power bills. Mm-hmm. Not like we went from like $8,000 to $9,000 a month to $6,000 to $7,000. Okay. It has creeped up, I think, because of the failing chiller. I don't think we really get a whole lot out of it.
Sure.
I wish we did.
Isn't there a data display? I feel like I've seen something.
There is.
Yeah.
So it can tell you what we're producing and like how many water bottles that say it's like it has some information on there. It doesn't translate into dollars and cents for us. So it extols the virtue of solar, but not really in a financial way. Also, that display is not working. So
Well, I guess it's probably hard just on a dollars to dollars basis because electricity prices have risen
Right,
so much.
right.
So
Yes.
even though your bill might be back to what it used to,
Right,
it might be lower than what it could have been.
possibly. Yeah.
But we're like not at risk of going over power budget because these things aren't running?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. No. No, it's unfortunate. I feel like we were sold something that didn't really materialize. Like, I love the idea of solar. I don't think that it is enough for anyone the way we want it to. So,
But did we get tax credits?
we're tax exempt, so no.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, and we spent the remainder of the capital campaign, which was $160,000, and then the city put in some money. So we paid a lot to get them, and I think the ROI was extensive when they were brand new and working, so I don't feel like it's improving.
So the city's panels are the same company? Oh.
I think a lot of solar that went in around that time is the same, so it'll be
in this
interesting to see.
area?
I mean, surely somebody's going to see the business opportunity and step in,
Yeah.
but I don't, it hasn't happened yet, so. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Yes.
Personnel.
Okay, so I emailed everybody about this, but Kristen Garvey has moved from the youth services librarian position into the youth services manager position, which is fantastic. We started her, she interviewed on Wednesday, and we started her on Monday. So she was already getting all the questions from the staff in the department, so it seemed fair to just make that change immediately. And we have posted the youth services librarian position internally for a week, and we will hopefully have someone new in that position and then have another position to fill, which is sort of the best case scenario, but also takes just a long time to get everything filled. So that is all for personnel.
Any questions? Something she can clarify? Okay, moving on to number 10, announcements. The next library board meeting is June 21st. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
And I need a motion to adjourn. Anyone want to go home?
All move to adjourn.
Thank you, John. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
I
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:53 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toby. I will leave
Thank you.
this